friends are trying to figure out what led up to a mother of three shot and killed here early this morning.
My wife was a good wife. She was a good mom. She was an entrepreneur. She came from nothing to something, you know, and she helped me. I became a barber. I mean, I always wanted to do it, but she pushed me to do it. I held her in my arms. She was alive.
Yo, you the nigga that killed her, bro.
Hi everyone.
What?
My name is BENGEEUBA Jenkins, business strategist and coach with the Prime Enterprise Group. I help entrepreneurs build their business from the ground up by laying a solid foundation.
This is the story of BENGEEUBA Jenkins, a successful entrepreneur and mother of three who had a loving, supportive husband, a beautiful home, and a thriving consulting business, pulling in well over 6 figures. She was well on her way to tremendous wealth. She was living the American dream, but sadly, her American dream would soon turn into a nightmare when she is gunned down in her bedroom while she is sleeping.
Yo, she definitely was getting to the bag though. She definitely was getting to the bag.
Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Lake Worth, Florida. 34-year-old BENGEEUBA Jenkins had a deep affection for her family. She was a single mother of a little girl, and she was known as a really kind and thoughtful young woman. She was a very devout Christian who enjoyed going to church as much as she enjoyed going out with friends and having fun. In the year 2010, the single mother met her future husband Yuri Jenkins at a church function. Both of Yuri's parents were pastors. His father served as the pastor of a church, while his mother served as a minister. As Yuri and BENGEEUBA started dating, their relationship progressed swiftly into a serious one. They kept something like a dream book in which they recorded their aspirations and ambitions, and Yuri was always right there with BENGEEUBA. Yuri would soon propose to BENGEEUBA, and the two would get married. The years that followed were ones filled with joy. BENGEEUBA had a daughter from a previous relationship, and Yuri also had a daughter from a previous relationship, but his daughter lived with her mother. As BENGEEUBA and Yuri's relationship started to grow, Yuri accepted BENGEEUBA's daughter as his own, and the two of them went on to build a great life together. This dude is always by my side. I'm finishing this business plan and he's right here 4:30 a.m. I love him. He supports me in all I do. When I prayed for a good man, God sent him to me at the perfect time. BENGEEUBA enrolled in college. She was so driven to succeed because she wanted to provide a great life for her daughter. Yuri supported her by taking care of her daughter so that she could attend school. He would earn money working as a barber. The couple welcomed a baby boy in 2011. Things were going well between the two for a couple of years, but in 2013, they would fall on hard times. They tried to start a few businesses but were ultimately unsuccessful. As a result, they went bankrupt and found themselves homeless. BENGEEUBA had nowhere to live, very little money, and not much of anything else until things started to turn around. BENGEEUBA went to a seminar on financial literacy because she believed that it should be a goal to always be financially stable. There, she learned about budgeting, business plans, and other related topics. She ended up getting out of the hole that she was in, but Yuri was the one who suggested that she take it to the next level. He asked her why she hadn't tried to go be a mentor or be a teacher and teach people how to start a business. This inspired BENGEEUBA to open a consulting firm to help others who wanted to start their own businesses but didn't know how. Yuri gave her an idea, and there was no stopping BENGEEUBA after that. She took what she learned about starting a business and she taught others how to be successful, so they could turn their ideas into a way of providing for their families and achieving their goals.
Hey, I don't care what nobody say, Mo. That's how you bounce back, bro. That's how you bounce back. Right there.
Just teach it. She also
lose it all, you get
preached.
it right back.
She was living proof of her teaching because she didn't have much growing up, but through her commitment and hard work, she was able to go from homeless to making 6 figures a year. As her success started to rise, she was able to relocate her family into a fantastic home in a very nice neighborhood, and it appeared as though nothing could stop BENGEEUBA from becoming very wealthy. In 2016, BENGEEUBA and Yuri would welcome another child, a daughter. The couple was living the American dream, but sadly this dream would soon turn into a nightmare. One night, while Yuri is hanging out in the garage of his home with his friend, Dimitri Dale, and BENGEEUBA's brother Quay, a masked gunman walks up and forces the three men into the home. He asked for BENGEEUBA's mother Questa, before he proceeded upstairs and fired one shot at BENGEEUBA while she was sleeping, a shot that would eventually take her life. He then ran down the stairs and out of the home, getting away in Dimitri's vehicle. The men raced upstairs after the gunman left to find Makiva suffering from a gunshot wound. They immediately dialed 911. Sadly, Makiva could not be saved, and she would pass away during surgery. Makiva's friends and family were devastated, especially her husband who held her in his arms as she was fighting for her life.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
Gunman who killed a mother of 3 in Boynton Beach. Today, we're hearing from her husband about her tragic final moments. CBS 4 anchor Rick Falbaum is in the newsroom with the man's heartbreaking story. Rick?
Well, Elliot, Yuri Jenkins says he had to watch his wife die in his arms moments after an armed intruder shot her in the head. Faced with this unspeakable tragedy, he is going to do his best to hold on to the good memories of her.
She's a strong woman, a strong Christian. She kept me level.
Yuri Jenkins is the husband of Makiva Jenkins. He says for the past 24 hours, he keeps replaying the image of his wife's brutal murder in his mind.
My wife was a good wife. She was a good mom. She was an entrepreneur. She came from nothing to something.
Jenkins says he was with Makiva just before 1:30 in the morning inside their home in unincorporated Lake Worth when a masked gunman forced the couple, a friend, and their children at gunpoint to go upstairs.
Me personally, if my wife or my my baby mother, my wife, anybody, my girlfriend, whoever I'm dealing with, if she gets shot, like at the moment, like right now, like I can't talk to the news. I can't talk to y'all. I can't, like it's nothing that we could talk about right now in this situation. Like you hear me? Y'all have to come back later or let me write a statement and y'all read it on the news or something like that. Me, I couldn't be calm enough to sit there knowing, she was just this amazing person and then her life is just gone and me just sitting right there talking regular. Like I probably couldn't even stand, bro. Like my knees would probably go weak. Like no cap. Oh shit.
And leave the house before they were forced to lie face down on the floor. Yuri then saw the gunman shoot his wife in the head.
I held her in my arms. She was alive.
He says the emotional trauma is something that will last his lifetime, but now his priority is his children.
My oldest daughter, she's taking it hard. My 6-year-old, he knows, but he doesn't know. And my baby girl, she don't really know what's going on. She's 1 year old.
Jenkins, a barber by trade, telling CBS News that to get through this difficult time, he'll look to his family and his church for support. Heartbreaking story. And just 2 hours before her death, Jenkins had posted on Facebook, Elliot, that she was proud of herself for working her way from homelessness to financial success in just 2 years. Relatives fear that her post may have had something to do with her death.
Detectives started their investigation to find out why and who would do this to Makiva. They questioned the mother Cuesta because the gunman appeared to be looking for her, but the mother had no enemies or could even think of anyone who would be angry at her. This appeared to be a targeted hit. They found out through the mother that Makiva made posts on her social media account about her financial success. Her last post read, "I'm in awe of how far I've come. This lady reached out to me about my business plans. We've been Facebook friends for years, but the last time we spoke through private message was August 2011. In this message I was inquiring about Dave Ramsey's financial peace university offered through her church. I couldn't even afford $99 at that time. Fast forward to now. We overcame being homeless in 2013 and 2014 to reaching my 6-figure mark in 2015 to now making multi-6 figures. No matter what the road looked like, I followed my heart and stuck with it, growing my business. I'm saying this to say, anyone can do it. It takes determination and consistency." Detectives started to question if someone was jealous of Makiva's success
y'all
and
see me,
wanted
I'm
her
being
death,
consistent.
or since she was a
Like the
business
video,
coach, did a disgruntled
also
client
subscribe,
come back
bro.
for revenge?
Consistency
They
and
explored all
determination.
possibilities.
Definitely
They
always
discovered that
have a
Makiva
good
had
outcome.
conflicts with the mother of Yuri's child, Courtney Bell. They would go back and forth on social media. On May 17, 2017, Makiva posted, "In the past 3 years, I've made the most money I've ever made in my life, and that's because I created my own opportunities. I didn't wait on the raise from a job, I didn't wait on a handout. I started my own business all while we were homeless and made up in my mind that I was gonna win. I've been moving up ever since. Yuri's baby mother responded to this post by saying, "You sure do brag a lot for someone who married a deadbeat father who owes $10,000 in child support. Even with all that money you're claiming to make, and Yuri is still too selfish to support his own child. Hashtag deadbeat dad." Makeva responded, "Jealousy at its finest." Investigators felt this could be a motive for murder, so they questioned Courtney, but she denied being involved in Makeva's murder. The police obtained surveillance tapes from nearby residences in an effort to determine where the shooter came from and if the shooter was alone or not. Detectives searching for the killer of Makeva Jenkins have recently discovered surveillance footage showing Dimitri Dale dropping someone off a few doors away from Makeva's home. This unknown individual instantly raises suspicions. Dimitri never mentioned that there was anyone else with him while he was driving to Yuri and Makeva's house. Detectives received a call from Makeva's friend, Natasha Williams, and what she would tell them would send the investigation in a whole new direction. Investigators start to see a different side of the couple's relationship. They begin to realize that although Yuri painted a picture-perfect relationship, there were some serious issues developing between the two. Natasha said that Makeva had confided in her that Yuri had cheated on her with other women. She said that Makeva had reached a point where she could no longer take it. She began emotionally withdrawing herself from her spouse and started emotionally and financially.
Alright, look. Me personally, like, if I'm with you or if we married or whatever the case may be, like, I can't even get myself to cheat on anybody. You feel me? No matter how hard it get now, no matter what we going through at the moment, I can't cheat on somebody. So her wanting the divorce to get away from him for cheating, bro, you can't get mad at that, bro. You chose that.
If Makeva divorced Yuri, he would lose his source of income because Makeva was the breadwinner. To investigators, this was a clear motive for murder. Investigators also discovered that Makeva had a $500,000 life insurance policy that previously listed Yuri as the beneficiary, but Makeva had recently changed it to her grandmother. The insurance company informed investigators that Yuri did call to inquire about the money after Makeva's death, only to find out that she removed him from the beneficiary. They said he was shocked that he wasn't the beneficiary, and responded by saying, "Wow, there's no way she could have changed it in time." Investigators were convinced that Yuri was behind the murder of his wife Makeva. They interviewed Dimitri again, and he confessed that Yuri approached him with wanting to have his wife Makeva killed, so he put him in touch with Joe Vaughn. He confessed that Yuri offered Joe Vaughn $1,500 to kill Makeva, and that he gave Joe Vaughn a ride to the house.
1,500? So you telling me niggas out here catching baddies for $1,500, bro? That can't set you up for life. That can't move you away. That can't do nothing. And you telling me you catching baddies, bro, for $1,500? We gotta do better. We gotta do better, bro.
He cut a deal with police and wore a wire and started talking to Yuri about the murder, but Yuri wouldn't confess. So police bring in Joe Vaughn for questioning, and he confesses to the murder and says he was just trying to help Yuri out. Yuri was arrested and told that he was being charged with first-degree murder.
God vindicate me. You say you're innocent? I'm innocent. Yes, I am.
That's Yuri Jenkins last night. Compare that to the day of his wife's murder. Two totally different scenes. The grand jury indictment refers to the killing of Makeva Jenkins as premeditated.
I mean, he's a quiet guy. He's a nice guy.
His attorney paints a different picture of the man accused of first-degree murder.
I believe him. I firmly support him.
Jenkins has had his fair share of run-ins with the law. He's been arrested 5 times in Palm Beach County since 2006 on drug charges. He's not the only one charged in his wife's death. Jovan Joseph is also charged with first-degree murder.
I mean, the theory has to be that somehow Yuri Jenkins got this individual to do what he did in killing Yuri's wife. What evidence they have of that, I have no clue.
In June, PBSO detectives said Makeva Jenkins was murdered when a masked gunman entered her home while her husband and children were inside. The case was widely talked about given the nature and her social media posts about her rise from homelessness to 6 figures. Yuri Jenkins' attorney told us today his client was a barber.
That's what he was doing initially, he was cutting hair in the garage that night.
McKeeva's family overcome with emotion outside the courtroom today.
He just didn't take to be what I thought he was. I know. I just can't describe what I'm feeling right now. That's it.
It would later be revealed that McKeeva was pregnant when she was killed.
Shocking new revelations in the death of Makavia Jenkins, the mother of 3 shot and killed in her own home. As her husband is held behind bars for her murder, new documents show this crime didn't just take her life, but also the life of her unborn child. CBS 12's Nayela Charles is live at the Breaking News Center with this new information in this heartbreaking case. Nayela?
Yeah, Liz,
Man, put them niggas under the jail, bro. They need to go under the jail.
Here shed some light on why a 19-year-old was also charged with murder in connection to Makeiva's death. Deputies believe the teen killed Makeiva after receiving just $1,500 from her husband. These records from the state attorney's office say there was ongoing tension between the couple before Makeiva's death. In May, Makeiva reportedly told Yuri that she wanted a divorce, but changed her mind after learning she was pregnant. A close friend of Makeiva's told investigators that Yuri wasn't happy about her pregnancy. Deputies had no idea who the masked gunman was until one of the witnesses inside the home at the time of the shooting came forward. Records show in August, Dimitri Dale told investigators he drove the shooter to the scene of the crime moments before it happened. Dale said 19-year-old Jovan Joseph was the one who pulled the trigger. According to the public records, Dale wore a wire when Joseph said Yuri Jenkins gave him a gun and $1,500 just 2 days before the crime. An ex-girlfriend told investigators Yuri kissed her the day before Makeiva's murder and that Jenkins showed no emotion after her death. The state attorney's office says they have no comment on why Yuri and Joseph aren't facing additional charges for the death of the unborn child. Live from the Breaking News Center, Nayela Charles, CBS 12 News.
19-year-old Jovan Joseph, the one who shot Makeiva, was convicted of second-degree manslaughter, with no more than 20 years. Dimitri, who also cut a deal, got probation of 15 years for manslaughter, for helping to find the hitman and bring him to the home. Yuri was found guilty of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison. Yuri wanted Makeiva dead, and he didn't care that he was leaving his kids without a mother. He wanted to keep the house and thought he would get a payout of $500,000 after Makeiva's death. But Makeiva was financially smart. When she sensed trouble in the relationship, she immediately got her financing in order and removed him from her life insurance. So not only did he find out he wasn't going to receive a penny after her death, he had to come to the realization that he killed her for nothing, and now he will spend the rest of his life in prison. What happened to Makeiva was beyond tragic. She didn't deserve her life to be taken. She was betrayed by the person who promised to love and protect her, and who also said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. But in the end, he knew his actions in the relationship would probably result in him eventually losing everything. Makeiva was a great mother and just wanted to be successful, so her family could have all of the things she never had.
Hit out on your baby mother.
To her friends and family. May you continue to heal and find peace.
This is what you do when you get your tax refund. You spend money on shoes. At Legal Tax Solutions, we can maximize your return so you can buy all the shoes.
Thanks for watching, and I will see you.